Hey, everybody. Welcome to a bit of Bigger Banter, the sports podcast, episode 107, post-football for the year. A little football hangover here, but now we are full speed ahead into the college hoop season. Tunnel vision.
Yes. Money to be made, boys. Money to be made.
Yeah.
We got a rough patch over in January. Now it's prime time. Let's go.
Before we move too far on, though, let's just take a moment of silence.
For football season?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I just want to say from the start that we needed to cherish it, right?
Yeah, you did. You did say that, you guys.
And
just cherish it. I think you said after week one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this is the fastest season I think I've ever experienced, right?
Which is wild too, because it was the longest college football season.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, but
not to stray from the topic, but Tyler, that being said, I think college football really did themselves dirty playing it the Monday after divisional weekend, which is probably the most anticipated football weekend of the year.
Yeah.
And then you have the national championship right afterwards. And
yeah,
I think
you're saying the excitement wasn't there for it.
You got to do it during the Pro Bowl weekend or the Monday after, because I don't know if you guys caught on to my my little rant at the beginning, but the Pro Bowl is the most useless. It is so pointless. It's the most pointless. I don't even want to call it a sporting event because it's not even that. They did the newlywed game, they did dodgeball, they did just stupid stuff. And again, I'm not going to claim this is my idea, but if you want to have a good idea to actually draw attention for that week, the number 1 and the number 2 lowest ranked teams that are 1 and 2 picks, make them play one game for the first overall pick.
Dude,
yeah. That's going to draw attention. It's going to be a bad football game, but guess what? Winner gets the first overall pick.
So you're going to give it your all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better believe they're going to play.
Yeah.
Would it have been Titans versus Patriots?
Titans.
I believe.
Titans. I think you're right.
Or is it Browns?
No, it is Browns. Browns, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize Browns were 2. Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah, Patriots are 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was, sticking on that topic with the draft, though, that Titans are willing to move out. Which kind of shocks me.
So does that, and we'll get into the Super Bowl recap here, but I did want to kind of touch on some draft stuff here, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
If Titans are looking to back out, does that mean they are saying Will Levis is our guy? Because I feel like that's the biggest question around the Titans right now, is who is the quarterback that they are most comfortable with?
I do. Trey, I know you said no. I think they are gonna. I don't. So here's what I'll say. Maybe that it's not that he's their guy forever, but I would say that then I don't think they're drafting quarterback.
They're looking to move out. They're not taking a quarterback.
Because if you're then again, the other way around it is, if you're not going to draft quarterback, then why would you not just stay there and draft the absolute guy that you absolutely want? Who gives a crap on who you're taking? Because if you take, for example, Abdul Carter number 1, nobody's gonna disagree with that. If you want to take Travis Hunter number 1, nobody's probably gonna disagree with that. Trying to think if there's any other non-quarterback guys up there that would be ranked that high. The only one that I would say is probably not a running back. Don't take a running back with the first overall pick.
The only other guy would be Will Campbell, the offensive lineman.
Yeah. Where's he out of?
LSU.
I would.
What
about Mack out of Michigan? I'm not saying number 1 overall, but he's got to be top 10. So,
looking at where they're at, and if they are trying to trade back, and maybe it's not way back, maybe it's hey, we're not really sure what we want to do. I mean, the Browns, in my opinion, are not going to take a quarterback. Giants probably will take a quarterback. Patriots are not taking a quarterback, and the Jaguars are not taking a quarterback. So I would say 1.5 of those top 5 teams, besides the Titans, would take a quarterback. So do they draft back, behind, let one of those teams go up, get some capital of some sort, and then maybe still be able to get one of the top quarterbacks and still be satisfied? You know what I'm saying? Because I think the Raiders are a possibility to take a quarterback. I'm not saying they will, but it's a possibility. The Jets are there. The Panthers wouldn't, but I don't know.
I don't think the Raiders are going to take a quarterback because I think they're going to get Matt Stafford.
Oh, please God!
Is that who you see? So you've seen Stafford?
Yeah. That's just my prediction because
Stafford.
I think that he wants to continue to play. Getting rid of Cooper Kupp, I think that really affected him and his family's. I know Kelly Stafford, his wife, has been very vocal about getting rid of Cooper Kupp on her podcast, which has been a very popular podcast as of late.
She had the backup quarterback from Georgia on it.
Oh, it's awful. Don't bring that up.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Wow. No, she does not.
Okay.
But no. Man, I lost my train of thought. I know she was upset about Cooper Kupp getting traded. Didn't understand why. She says, "Oh, we're looking to win. Why are we getting rid of these people?" And Las Vegas is not far at all from LA. Yeah. And but that's an up and coming franchise. I'm sure Tom Brady will talk to Matt Stafford. And that's where I think he's going, to be honest with you.
And I hope because I see the other team that's in the mix is the Giants.
Why would he go there?
I don't know. I really don't know because I actually think you have better protection in terms of your up front in Vegas than you do the Giants.
So what do you get from going to what's the benefit to going to New York versus LA? You're closer to your home.
Big market to big market for her podcast, if that's what
Las Vegas is a bigger market, I think, than the New York Giants right now.
But
Especially when you suck every year.
Las Vegas, the city, is bigger than New York, the city?
In terms of sporting markets, I think so.
It depends. It's up and coming, dude.
The New York market depends on who you are. If it's the Mets and the Yankees, absolutely not. Those are the biggest markets in New York, and the Knicks, I would say. But when it comes to football, the Jets and the Giants have lost their luster in New York because they have been so bad for so long.
It's more the Bills.
Yeah, and they're not even like a New York. I wouldn't even call them. They're the only New York team, but
right, and they're upstate New York.
But they aren't like the true New York City. They're the blue collar New Yorkers.
I got you.
The ones that truly matter.
Yeah, it's. I think the other thing too is quarterback wise, Trent, for your franchise. I've also seen Darnold.
That was like the least likely move.
See, that's where I'd see
that's a problem.
Giants getting. I could see the complete opposite. Darnold going to the Giants, and
can I just also address this too? Is there's a lot of accounts out there on X that are trying to break rumors, news, because I've now seen Stafford to the Raiders. I have seen Rodgers potentially to the Raiders, and then just recently Rodgers to the Niners, where he would serve as a backup.
I saw that too. That was a joke.
And then you've got
he's going to the Steelers.
Devontae Adams loves every single team in the NFL, pretty much where he wants to go, except probably the Raiders or the Jets. And then you've got Russell Wilson. Is he going to be a Raider because of Pete Carroll? No chance in that happening. He doesn't like it. Okay, now he's a Giant potentially. It's just I feel like everyone's just trying to throw things and see what sticks, and then they want to be able to claim. See, we called that. And don't get me wrong, that's part of the business. But I just think there's too much unknown still. We are fresh 3 days off of a Super Bowl, right? And I don't know. I just think we're very, very fresh off of that, and I just don't think anybody knows anything at this point. To be honest with you, hell, it was reported today that Andy Reid told the media that Hopkins was retired. Then Hopkins come out and says, "No, I'm not retired." Matter of fact, now he supposedly wants to go back to Houston. Like, what the hell is going on then? Like, everybody's shooting for a headline early instead of actually like getting a real story.
Waiting for it. Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
That's a good lean in with the Hopkins and Chiefs. We talk about the Super Bowl.
So we did put out our prop bet sheets. I'll be posting results here just to make sure that anybody filled one out also has the results of it. So we'll put that out probably today at some point. But Trent in our family was the winner. I believe you only missed 7.
Allegedly.
Wow.
What do you mean? It's not allegedly. That's
I didn't grade it to Trey.
I graded them all.
Yep.
Trey.
Okay.
So
whatever.
Yeah.
I think National Anthem length surprised the shit out of me. I couldn't believe that guy held that note that long.
Dude, no.
2 minutes.
He said of the brave 3 times.
Hey, he said home of the brave or land of the free like 17 times. Yeah, it's like,
right.
Because I was
Trey, your record now is what with the coin toss?
Not to talk too much about it, but 1-7. All right, let's move on.
That's all right. I tailed you this year, so I just had to bring it up as well.
That is unbelievable to me. Like, can we talk about it?
It's 50-50%. Like, it's literally 50-50.
So let's think about it. And I lost.
You're 1-7.
That's $300 I've lost in bets.
Oh,
on a coin.
On just a coin toss.
That's bad.
And that's hard to do on a 50-50 bet, right? Like,
yeah.
Trey's defying the odds.
Dude, I cannot believe it. 1-7 on a 50-50 bet.
Can we just fade? I'm fading him again next year.
Are you? I know that's why I did it this year, you little bitch.
I actually had tails before Tyler shared your pick of the episode.
Yeah, sure you did.
Show me
the time slip of the bet.
Let's put Trey in.
No, you're right. I placed my bet after I knew you were going heads.
That's dirty as fuck, dude. That's disgusting.
Hey, I have money in my bankroll.
Wow.
Let's put Trey in a hole on February 2nd and see what happens when it comes out. See a shadow.
If you fade Trey, everybody, you are up $300. So when it comes to the coin toss, #fade Trey.
Oh man.
Man. Tyler, I am just going to share with you what my coin toss bet is next year.
All right.
Damn it.
So Trent, I'm supposed to fade that then? I'm just kidding.
Actually, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm gonna
show the wealth,
literally a minute before the coin toss. That's what I'm gonna do.
You know what's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna make my bet on my own and I'm gonna win, and Trey's gonna be over there. Son of a god! He'll be wrong again.
Nah,
but
I'll make a burner account and leak it out. I'm just kidding.
I'm not telling either of you guys. So
that's awesome.
I just can't believe that.
So hey, on a positive note. We do make our first touchdown bets for all primetime games. We ended the note. Wait, you know what? We didn't even just end on a note. We started on a high note for the season. Remember that? We hit the very first primetime touchdown.
That's right.
And the very last primetime touchdown. Am I right by saying that?
Bookend it. Yep.
So
you are right.
That was quite a way. We hit nine primetime first touchdown bets this year, which actually tied our record from 2 years ago. So hitting right around, I believe it's like 30-some%, maybe high 20%. I have the data somewhere, but
I hope Randy was tailing us.
He's
so right. That's right. Rock hard Randy. Shout out
Rock hard Randy. Let's get into a little analysis here of the game, guys. Like biggest takeaway, headline moving forward. What do we got? I mean, the three-peat was stopped, right? That's the headline, correct?
They looked tired. They just looked like nothing could get going for them. And I don't know what it was. Like there's how many times has that happened before though? And all of a sudden it's like one thing happens, next thing happens, next thing, and it's like, oh, here's the Chiefs again. And that didn't happen the entire game. Like, and and then they talk about Vic Fangio not blitzing at all, but still having 6 or 7 sacks. Like, they were getting to him, man. I mean, that was a testament to his defense, guys getting after it.
I mean, Trent called it right from the start. It was the same exact outcome and game plan as the Bucs when they played Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
They didn't blitz. Like, what's his name? Bucs head coach. I can't think of his name right now.
Right.
Oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Todd Bowles.
Yes, Bowles. Yes, he didn't blitz Mahomes. He rushed 4 and they just out-rushed them. Like, their D line outplayed their offensive line, and that's exactly what the Eagles did.
Right.
They didn't blitz. I don't think they blitzed once, and they had a 25% QB rush rate. Like,
right.
Mahomes didn't even have time to read his reads. And
dude, but then the fact that he kept stepping up into the blitz, or not the blitz, but the rush.
But that's scouting, Tyler. That is.
But what I'm saying is, like, normally he is like step up, step back, roll out, and he wasn't rolling out at all. Like, he just, like I said, he didn't look good. I mean, he had 25, they had 33 yards total, I think, on offense in the first half.
Very bad.
Like,
I think it took them until about like halfway through the third quarter to cross midfield.
I think the fourth quarter, man. I think that's when they scored their points.
Yeah, so it was
the very first possession. Juju had to catch for 11 yards. That was their only first down, I think, in the first half.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess my question, or I'll just kind of pose this thought then, is, I mean, maybe the refs did help get a mediocre team to the Super Bowl this year, because I feel like the Texans had that game against them in the second round, and there were some very crappy, touchy quarterback penalties, I should say, roughing the quarterback. So it's like, in my sense, it backfired on the NFL. I'm not saying that the NFL wanted them there, but I said it before, dynasties do attract more audience members. I mean, the highest watched Super Bowl in the history of the Super Bowl. So it's like, and it's not just because everyone hates them, and don't get me wrong, you stay popular long enough to where the hero becomes the enemy, right? And that's what the case with the Chiefs.
Right.
But then you also do have a large Chiefs following. I mean, you get it's always weird, like the generations of young football fans that, growing up, you saw a ton of Patriots fans because they were really good. And you have, always in our area, tons of Steelers fans everywhere, but they were pretty good for a long time.
Even even take back to the 90s with Dallas fans.
Yeah.
Like people my age are Dallas fans. I mean, I was a Niner fan because, I was late 80s, early 90s.
Dynasties definitely have a huge impact on you. But when it comes down to it, like, it's a shame that we didn't get. And I know it's 20 hindsight, whatever the saying is, but like, it's a shame we didn't get Bills Eagles or a Ravens Eagles, or like, that sucks, because I still think those teams are better than the Chiefs. I really do. And I know, well, they didn't beat them. I get that. But in terms of overall, like, gosh, like, in terms of dominance, the Chiefs escaped so much this year.
Yep.
So I mean, that's where I left it, and I'm like, whatever. My money was on the Chiefs just because you're betting on the Chiefs magic to come through. Had a really similar feel to the past how many Super Bowls now where the Chiefs go down a little bit by 10 points. I think they've gone down 10 in the past 3. In the 3 that they've won, I believe, they've gone down 10 points. And then this year, Eagles were clearly the more talented and better team. It was clear as day. And you know what? Chiefs are in some trouble. I'm gonna go out there and say that. And,
You
and I
think
know
so? Because that's, man, I don't know.
$172 million is going to 5 players on the roster next year.
Trey, you know what this sounds like? Recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
That's exactly right, Tyler.
There's a chance.
Go get the shirt.
I looked at that new Super Bowl emblem. I didn't see no red and yellow in there together.
There was red and yellow in
You,
it. It
you
was
need to
all
look a little
over.
closer then, buddy, because there was totally
it's like
a lot in there.
ignoring it.
All along the bottom. And let's be honest, that red and yellow could also be somebody else's team here.
Run the tape. Episode 107. Chiefs will not be in the Super Bowl next year.
I don't know, man. We'll see. It's hard to count them out though, ever.
No,
I don't. This I kind of hope this is their.
I would like to say that I'm going to make a prediction that's going to align with Trent. This is where the Chiefs have their little lull before Mahomes goes ape shit again. Like it's going to be like Brady. It's going to be the same thing as Brady.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because it's all about timing. Like franchises do this all the time, right? Like
get as much as you can in a short amount of time.
Yes. And then ultimately the cap contracts, rookie contracts, veteran contracts, everything comes back to haunt you. And you have to go through a little lull. And
but how much longer is Andy Reid going to coach?
Maybe not that long, Tyler, but that doesn't matter.
Because it does matter. I really think that does matter. You could say whoever's going to take over and do this. Dude, but I think that
imagine the qualified coach they're going to get for that job once Andy Reid, like
Matt Nagy.
It doesn't matter.
I wouldn't want to be him right now after that offensive performance.
Does not matter.
Oh, come on. Now that's one thing I freaking hate.
Does it matter? I've said right now it's a recency bias. I'm not saying he's bad.
Offense gets shut down. It's Matt Nagy's fault. But when their offense is clicking and doing good, it's Andy Reid's. Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. He's earned that, but don't put that all on Nate. I mean, Reid's got the play call sheet.
Just hear me out. Hear me out.
I didn't put it on anybody.
There's going to be a time.
I did not. I said right now. I said it would not be a good time for him to step in there.
Why?
People remember the last thing. He would get heavily criticized.
All I'm saying is
they would take the last season of the Bears and this last season.
If you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, you're a Super Bowl contender.
It's a media thing. It's a media thing. That's what I'm saying.
Here's their law: is they got to rebuild their offensive line like they did after the Bucs Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's what they got to do. They got to go all in.
Guys that don't hold and guys that don't false start every play.
Or just how about block? That's a starting point. After that Super Bowl, how about you block for more than 2 seconds? Because I'm just saying that's that.
Or you, never mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay. I mean, I look at Chiefs are licking their wounds right now. Eagles, they got their second Super Bowl, and quite honestly, they should be there again in the end. I think they are the betting favorites early on, but I think at least we think in that division you have another contender there with the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. I will say at some point in time, one of us will say it, is just be aware of always the sophomore slump for rookie quarterbacks. And I would say he had a very true sophomore slump to the point where his offensive coordinator, not Liam Cohen,
lost the head coaching opportunities.
Yeah, he was a head coaching candidate, sought after, chose to return, and he got fired. So give these coordinators a full, 17-game season to break down those, and they figure it out. That's why they're paid millions of dollars to coach. It's their only job.
Real quick, I'll give you top 10 contenders here, Super Bowl, and then we can actually segue into college basketball. Right now you have Ravens, Chiefs, and Eagles. All three are at plus 650. Bills and Lions, plus 700. Niners are plus 1,400. Bengals, plus 1,600. Packers, plus 2,000. Commanders, plus 2,000. and Texans plus 3,000. And they're also tied with the Chargers and the Rams. So that's where you're at right now with that stuff. So Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles are the top 3 guys, but then you got the Bills and Lions right up there.
You're telling me the Raiders aren't up there?
Yeah.
I think it's funny that the Niners are up there that much.
Mm-hmm. It is hilarious. Raiders are actually second last.
Second last. That's good. Hey, tank for Arch.
What's different about the Niners team this year than last year? Other than that, they might be putting a lot of money into Brock Purdy.
Greenlaw's back, and they're going to get a defensive end.
Okay.
And they're going to have McCaffrey. McCaffrey played in 2 games.
He's going to be good. Good to go.
I would think.
Supposedly he's already cleared.
Tell you what I won't do. Won't draft him in fantasy. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into college basketball here. The new sport that's going to be dominating the headlines here because we got.
Can we start with a quick recap of our last week, real quick?
Yeah.
Down goes number 1 and number 2.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, SEC right now, it's like what do you call it? Merry-go-round? I don't know what to tell you. It's like the exact same shit.
Or a carousel.
You call it merry-go-round?
Depends if we want to talk kindergarten language or not.
But either way,
crisscross
applesauce, Tyler. Crisscross applesauce. Shut up. You got it's just you're just taking big dogs and beating the crap out of each other, and then they don't ever move in the polls, and they still get credited with being a bit like I look at. I'm granted Auburn lost, right? Still stayed ranked number 1.
Which, yeah.
How don't you move Bama up? I guess bullshit. But then I don't know. I just the team that's really driving me nuts right now, guys, and I think they're overrated. I truly think this team is overrated, and you guys can call me a dummy come March if they end up making it here or to the big show. Is Tennessee? Sorry. Were you going to say Tennessee?
No.
I just think they're completely overrated. They can play defense. But if they get officiated where the official's going to call the mugging that they do defensively, because what remember they're saying is bear hug the ball. That's Rick Barnes saying bear hug the ball. Literally foul them, but they won't call it every time. But their offense is putrid, and if they don't score points in March, you will lose because you will get teams. You will get teams that just go off randomly and start
threes.
Yeah, that's how the upsets happen, really.
Yeah.
If you can't score Virginia or Purdue, it will catch you, and it'll catch you early.
And Trey, I'll give you props to your pick last night with Kentucky plus 2.5 because when you sent the pick, man, I was nervous as shit just because I always saw like recently Kentucky, hey, they're kind of over that hump. And then all of a sudden they had a couple bad games and it's like, oh boy, are they that good now?
Yeah.
So when you put the 2.5 out there and then they ended up doing all right. I mean, they I won't say they survived, but
the one thing I've noticed. Yeah. The one thing I noticed about especially the SEC and just teams that are extremely good is the home court advantage is a big deal.
That's a good point.
Especially in the SEC. And if you're getting 2.5 points in a team that has struggled against, I don't want to say average teams, but less than elite teams in
high-powered offenses.
Huh?
They struggle against high-powered offenses, and that's
Tennessee.
Kentucky's strength is their offense, not their defense.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's I don't know. I've seen Tennessee struggle, and you're being favorites away against a in-state or in-conference rival. Come on.
Well,
it's the only thing that you can bank on in college basketball lately.
Another game real quick last night, too, is Kansas State. Kansas State beat
Great
Arizona.
Win. They're hot right now. They're really hot right now.
And then you know what? Like you look at their overall record, that's going to be one of those teams that could have a losing record that Joey Busted Brackets said could get in.
Yeah, well, he says a lot, Tyler.
Joe,
dude, it's
dipshit.
God, he's frustrating. He doesn't even speak well. Like I listen to him speak sometimes. I'm like, what are you saying?
Joey busted brackets. He doesn't need busted sentences, busted teeth.
No boy.
Busted brackets.
Busted.
Don't say Trent. You're the meanest one of all to him.
I know. I don't know if I took a shot at his teeth, but he does have some weird teeth.
Hey, go get your Joey Busted Brackets shirt.
Allegedly. I don't know. I'm just got our asses.
Now I feel bad, and I shouldn't feel bad.
Trey, we made a shirt with a clown nose on and glasses.
Yeah, because of Trent. And now he's like making fun of me because I said he has busted teeth.
Trent,
I can't believe you actually designed that shirt.
Trent knows Trent.
I just didn't. I didn't make fun of his teeth. I'm not a bully. But I'll disagree with his bracketology. No, I'm just kidding. Screw his teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
So as of tonight, he has Auburn, Tennessee, Bama, and Duke all as 1 seeds. I believe that will change, and I believe Florida is going to have to be up on the 1 line.
Yeah,
over Tennessee,
instead of Tennessee.
Yeah. The tough thing is going to be placement of these teams because which would have been a potentially brutal bracket, he had the East with Duke as the 1, Florida is the 2, Texas Tech is the 3, Kentucky the 4.
Jeez.
But Duke and Florida in there, that would be powerful. I will even. Out of all the 4 right now, I would say his East region would be the toughest with those 4 teams. But you want me to rattle the others quick?
Well, hold on. Can I ask a question? Because I feel like I heard this on ESPN. Listen to some analysis one day. Is it true that teams in the same conference can't play in the first 2 rounds?
No.
No, I don't think that's going to be possible to manage anymore.
But what I'm saying is that people are now talking about that in terms of seeding.
You can't avoid it. I think, Tyler, I do believe that
that's a
factor. They will not make 2 teams in the same conference play each other the first round.
I agree with that.
Maybe that's it. I mean, I don't know if it's the first round or if it's the second round.
They'll avoid that at all costs. They've got to.
It wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't. Look at Midwest region. Bama, Purdue, Iowa State, Kansas. West region, Tennessee. I think this is a bad region. Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arizona, Wisconsin. Like that to me, those 4 teams. Like I know A&M is ranked 8th right now.
I think they're 5, 6. I think they're 5, 6, 7s better than anyone else's though.
What do you mean?
Ole Miss, UCLA, and Clemson. Those are very tough higher seeds.
I'm not. I don't know what you're looking. I'm only looking at top 4. And then you got the South, Auburn. I think this one's tough. Auburn, Houston, Michigan State, and St. John's. Like I think those 1, 2, and 3 seeds. I think those top 3 seeds in that area. That's a tough region there for Auburn because Houston's good. Houston's always been consistently good, but then Michigan State is. I mean, they've hit a little snide here, but they're no pushover. Especially Tom Izzo and March. Like I'm actually very surprised they don't have Michigan State in with Duke because they love. I guess it's because Coach K is not there anyway. They just love the Coach K Izzo matchup every single goddamn year. But last 4 buys. Schneid.
You said snide.
Okay, I didn't have the schn. Sorry. Yeah. Last 4 buys: Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Vanderbilt. Last 4 in Georgia, overrated. Wake Forest, San Diego State, and BYU. You want first 4 out?
Yep.
Arkansas, VCU, North Carolina, SMU.
SMU just had a nice win against Pitt last night.
Yeah. Next 4 out: Pitt, Xavier, UC San Diego, and Boise State.
Say
So how does he have Carolina ahead of Pitt?
Probably strength of schedule.
Like and again, I'm a Tar Heel fan through and through, but Tar Heels suck, man.
Yeah,
like they suck. Like I am as a fan, I'm having trouble watching them this year. Yeah. Like that's how frustrated and bad. Like that Clemson game the other night. Oh my gosh! I texted you guys. I wouldn't have let Hubert Davis come out in the second half to even coach. I would have just sent him home. I would have said, "Hey, here's a plane ticket."
So Tyler, he technically Carolina is ranked number 71 overall, whereas Pitt is 73.
So Carolina could, they get 1 or 2 good wins here. They could technically get in.
Well, when you say 1 or 2 good wins, if you look at their schedule, they're going to have to beat Duke.
Well, yeah,
to have a shot.
And maybe a game or 2 in the tournament. The ACC.
Yeah, it's got to be a quad. It's got to be a quad 1, man. You got to either beat Clemson, Duke again, or Louisville.
I honestly think though, Trent, I think if somehow Carolina does pull it off against Duke, which again, I don't see that happening. I think if they beat Duke, I think somehow they sneak in. As long as they're not a first game out of the ACC tournament.
Dude, I don't know, man.
I don't agree with it, but right now, if we're seeding North Carolina, 16 seed.
Oh man, I knew it.
Well, for your sake, I do hope they get in. But in reality, right now, do you realize they're like 14-11?
Dude, they're horrible. That's what I'm saying.
Like they're almost 500, and they haven't had that bad of a season since they were the preseason ranked number 1.
Do you guys remember my prediction about North Carolina and Hubert Davis?
No.
When?
I think it was last year. I said Hubert Davis is not going to succeed as the North Carolina head coach. He's going to get fired sooner than you think, and he knows he's going to take his job.
You said Jay Wright earlier this year.
Bingo, bongo, bingo. Thank you.
I don't know if you said that ever on an episode.
Yeah. Absolutely did.
He did. He said the Jay Wright thing a couple weeks
ago. Jay Wright, I agree, but I don't remember that prediction of Hubert like that. Because I think everybody would sit there and say,
Trent, I said he's going to play for North. I said Jay Wright is going to coach for North Carolina. What does that mean for Hubert Davis? That means he has to get fired, Trent.
I know, but I'm talking like you didn't say that about Hubert's career. You said that after 3 years in.
Regardless.
But Hubert took him to a national championship. He's got the biggest win in their program history. The biggest win was over Duke in a Final Four game. Okay, that's the biggest win in that program's history. 100% it is. They count that as more important in Chapel Hill than they do their banners, right? So, and rightfully so, it was the biggest rivalry.
I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
I don't agree with that at all. I think the banners.
I disagree. I would say this: the modern day Carolina fan counts that as more important than their banners. But let me ask, and Tyler,
he's taking some shots, Tyler. I don't know.
I'm saying you're No. I'm talking like younger generation Carolina fans. I'm talking like late high school, mid-20s fans. Okay, they will say that because it was, their memes, social media, all that stuff. But I do want to say something I read today on a UNC fan account, and I want to hear your take, Ty, where they say if they stick with Hubert Davis, Carolina is going to fade away as a blue blood, just like UCLA did and Indiana did.
Whoa!
They said that's the track that Carolina's on right now with Hubert Davis.
Thanks.
Yeah,
you guys got close with Doherty.
Yeah. It's literally like deja vu. All right. I was.
How do you turn that around?
get a good coach and play better. Like it's not that hard.
Okay.
But like I here's the thing.
You got to get a legend. And Jay Wright's a legend, but I don't think Jay Wright's going back to college basketball.
So when they hired Roy Williams,
my emoji,
right? Roy Williams, fresh off of a Kansas loss to Syracuse in the national championship, right?
I remember that.
And Roy was a Carolina guy before he was a Kansas guy. Bringing in like you just said, a legend like Roy Williams to just say like, hey, guess what, guys? This is how basketball is played. This is what winning takes, and this is a winning formula. I think right now what you're seeing with Hubert Davis is, I think Hubert Davis, again, I'm not trying to knock him like as a person at all, but I also don't think that he has – I'm not even really sure how to say it. I think the players love him, right? Like I think he's a player's coach. But I think there is also a fine line between we're going to go run through a cement wall for you as a player's coach and, hey, you're our best friend. Let's go out for beers. Yeah. That's exactly like it's too buddy. I don't think there's enough seriousness. Like, to make a reference, Hubert Davis is a player's coach. Dan Campbell is a player's coach. Dan Campbell, for the Lions, also would have his entire team run through 10 brick walls for him and be like, all right, coach, what's next? What are we doing next? And I don't feel like that same vibe with Hubert Davis. I think it's just like he could get angry. He can yell. He can do whatever he wants. But I don't think the players are like, okay, like, let's fix this now. Again, I don't know if it's a style. And it's a shame. Like, I like the guy. He's a good guy. Good announcer. I liked him when he was an announcer. I don't see him as the player's coach. I don't know. Would you even qualify that as like, is it a respect thing? Like, I don't know.
It's just a personality mismatch. Like,
I just think
some people fit all the qualifications, but when you put them into place, you don't get the outcomes that you want. You know what I mean? Like, it was a perfect fit that didn't work.
Can I maybe just provide some insight? I feel like he's a not Roy Williams. He's a Dean Smith product as a player, but a Roy Williams type coach because he coached under Roy, right? And he's starting to realize that approach doesn't work in the modern day anymore.
And it doesn't. Okay.
And I hope he adapts to save his own career, but I also don't think just by saying, hey, we're going to go out and hire a GM, I think that's a Band-Aid. I think it's a Band-Aid. I don't think it's a cure. So I don't know. I think if you miss the tournament this year, I don't think Carolina I don't think in Carolina that they're gonna stick with him. I think
he also could be on the shortest leash next year if they do.
What do they do?
What do you mean? What do they do?
What would they do besides Hubert Davis? Who's the guy they go to?
I mean, Trey, don't get me wrong, I like your idea of Jay Wright, but I think Jay Wright goes back to Nova before he goes to Carolina. The name is that you're going to have to spend a lot of money, and you're going to have to really pry this man away. But Carolina likes to keep Carolina lines, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy that has Carolina lines
Williams.
is Bruce
Michael
Pearl.
Jordan. Does he have
Bruce Pearl? He's not leaving Auburn.
Bruce, I know, but
the one guy that makes sense is the guy.
I think Bruce Pearl. You have a better chance of Bruce Pearl than you do Jay Wright.
Why?
I agree.
Because Jay Wright is done. He is not coming back. All of those legends left the game because of the way that everything is now.
Oh, like Bill Belichick. Where's he at now?
But that's apples and oranges.
Why?
Football, basketball.
He's utilizing the transfer portal and everything. What would be the only job that Jay Wright would ever come back for?
Villanova.
No, I disagree with that. I don't think he's ever coming. I don't think if Villanova begged him to come back, I don't think he'd come back. I think it'd be Duke or UNC or Kentucky.
Trent, what's Bruce Pearl's connection?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I know it through conversation here. And yeah, I'd have to go back to find it. I'm pretty sure he has a connection.
But no, besides Bruce Pearl, the only team that Jay Wright would ever come back to coach for is not an NBA team. It's not Villanova, because why would he do that? It makes no sense to leave Villanova just to come back to coach them when they're not as good.
Now you get to do it all over again.
Or
some guys need it.
Or you coach an already established blue blood with the recruitment connection pipeline, as in Duke, UNC. I would even consider Kentucky and UCLA up there as someone he would consider. Trent, it makes 100% sense that he would take the UNC job. You got Bill Belichick. UNC is rebranding their head coaches like that. And
I'm not fixated on any new hire. I don't see Jay Wright going there. I think it's it's a huge stretch. I think he's done coaching.
So real quick, we're gonna put that Bruce Pearl connection on North Carolina somewhere on the back burner, because I am not finding it in the immediate search history right now. Mm-hmm. So I will research more, but because I would be very interested to see what his connection is, because Trey, and I would argue this too, though, if that is true. All right.
I would still say right.
But hold on. I'm not saying that, take this or that, but what I'm saying is that would be almost identical. Like, I could see Auburn going far this year in the tournament, right? Losing a big game near the end, not winning the whole thing, because I don't think that they will, which obviously another episode. But they lose, all of a sudden now North Carolina fires Hubert Davis. Now, because let's be honest, it's one of the most attractive jobs in college basketball.
UNC,
right? Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
you're gonna get guys. You
top
could get
3.
You could easily, if you're North Carolina basketball, say, we want you.
Yeah,
and you could literally pick from the litter, and I'd say that there's not a lot of guys that would say no, just because of the prestige. And that's, Trent, where you go back to like the Banter conversation. I know you said newer fans, but like that's like history. Like North Carolina basketball, like when you see North Carolina, and I think I mentioned this one other week, when you see North Carolina basketball playing this bad, like, I know you're a Duke fan, and it's I don't think it's good for basketball.
No.
Like when teams like that are expected to be good and they're not good, it's not good for the game.
No.
And, bias and fanship aside, like, am I frustrated watching them? Yeah. Am I watching them still? Yeah. And sometimes I want to claw my eyes out. But like, it's not normal it's not normal. And I think that basketball needs them to be good.
Mm-hmm.
They need the Duke North Carolina rivalry to stay alive. Because if that ever dies, there is a part of college basketball that does die.
Yeah,
it won't ever die. It's 1 year, guys.
No, yeah. I know. I'm just.
I mean, they did it 2 years ago. Remember?
Yeah. No, I know. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Do you guys want to get into some picks here? Because I know we kind of spent a lot of time here. But that was good. That was good though.
Saturday board.
Let's not. I got a couple games here because we got some games tonight that I just really quickly want to talk about and see where you guys are at. We'll just kind of go. I guess there are lines on this now, huh? I got a couple games here for tonight. Right now, the first game I want to start with is the St. John's Villanova matchup with the St. John's, who is ranked in the top 10. Rick Pitino. He's got the Johnnies in the top 10. Right now, looking at that line, I've seen it floating around 2.5. So let's just, because we do have that spread for tonight, let's go with the spreads on this versus just money line picks, which we'll do for our Saturday games. So if you have 2.5 St. John's against Villanova, and it is at Villanova,
hammer it.
Yeah, I would
hammer
absolutely hammer 2.5.
Hammer it.
It's not even a question in my mind.
Okay, I'm actually surprised it's that close, to be honest with you.
That makes me kind of sketchy.
I'm not going to overthink it.
Just do it. Just go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next game tonight we have that I put down here, Ole Miss and South Carolina. Ole Miss, South Carolina. Right now, the line is sitting. Sorry.
Got to be a huge line.
I don't think it's any. I think it's a.
Of course, the line is not out yet. That's why
I was gonna say it's offline. Yeah,
dude.
Right, so
I'm just
Ole
telling
Miss,
you right
Ole
now.
Miss, South Carolina. You going Ole Miss?
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. They're what? They're on a. South Carolina's lost 10 straight. The record is 13-10, isn't it?
That's one of the reasons I brought it up there.
Sorry,
Yeah,
10-13.
Yeah,
10-13. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Ole Miss.
Okay. Yep, I'm on Ole Miss because I like Beard. All right, next we got Oklahoma, Missouri. Oklahoma, Missouri. It's at Missouri. Missouri is right now sitting at -8.5.
honestly, I like the +8.5 just an in-conference game
For Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like the +8.5 too, just because that's a steep spread for a Missouri team that I feel like usually when I bet the spread on them, they beat them by like 4 or 5.
and it's the SEC.
Yeah,
8.5 points is a ton.
All right,
a lot of points.
I would take Missouri.
I'll
take Missouri.
Last one we have here, and Trent, if you wanted to talk about your Duke game too, we can. But I didn't know if it's Duke, California. But I brought up Texas Tech, Arizona State. That spread right now is Texas Tech -15.5.
I like +15.5.
Where's it at?
That Texas
Tech. At Texas Tech.
Lubbock.
Wow, that is a big spread. Yeah, I mean, I will not wager 15.5 for a favorite.
Yeah.
Unless they're playing Green Bay.
Yeah.
Then I do.
All right, the basketball school.
Yeah.
Jeez. Whoa.
Yeah.
I got a little pissed there for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Jeez.
Fade Gottlieb. Come on, man.
Hey, reach back and pull your wedgie out there, penny boy.
Okay, all right, Mr. Pick 11. I don't understand how Gottlieb still has a job.
Or
how haven't they given him like an ultimatum? Like, hey man, you got to give up on your podcast and focus on coaching basketball.
It's Green Bay.
It doesn't matter, dude. Like
nobody
you're a
wants
T1
that
basketball
job.
school.
You've got the biggest name as your coach that you can get. You're not going to get a big name.
And he's operating on 3 hours of sleep. It's very, very visually apparent on the sideline, and he's doing podcasts on top of that.
He does look rough.
And your team is like 3-20.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tyson.
I'm not taking a spread on this because 15.5 is huge. I'm taking over 143.5 with the total points because right now those teams are averaging 145.6 a game. So, and right now 143.5 over is -105. So I like Texas Tech. Maybe pair a little tiny little parlay together.
Pair a little tiny parlay.
Yeah. Little parlay. All right. One Thursday game here again. If you guys have other games you wanted to mention too, one game I was looking at here is Maryland, Nebraska.
Ooh.
Okay, this is Thursday night. Maryland at Nebraska.
What's that spread?
I don't think we have it yet. 2 days out.
Spread yet. No spread because it's 2 days out. But right now, Maryland is ranked 25th. They're 18-6, 6th in the Big Ten. Nebraska is 16-8, 8th in the Big Ten.
I would like Maryland in that one. I think they got a lot of experienced transfer portal people that are contributing a lot for them.
It's at Nebraska.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know the spread because I think straight up money line, I would like to think Maryland would win because I think Maryland's better. But I will say Nebraska's been pretty damn tough, especially at home lately.
Yeah,
they are on a 4-game win streak, so
bingo.
They're getting heated up. So if you can get Nebraska, I would say if you can get Nebraska plus 6.5 here at this rate, I would take that.
Maybe 6.5. Wow. Okay.
I don't know, but I would take them plus 6.5.
No way, it's gonna be 6.5.
You think it'll be less?
I think it's going to be plus 1.5, plus 2.5.
I was just saying 2.5.
It even might be minus 1.5 Nebraska.
No. If it's that close, I think I would favor going Nebraska.
I'm gonna sit here and put the Terps on upset alert.
Yeah.
Right? It's gonna be that's gonna be my next
turtle soup.
It's gonna be like a boom upset alert. And then I will say my Minnesota upset alert last week was dog shit against Illinois, but that's all right.
I disagree with that. I think it's got to be some sort of like crying sound.
Upset.
Yeah.
Let me.
I'll
yeah. Ooh, I like that, Trey. I like
a little baby crying.
Yeah.
I'll mess around. I'll see what I can do.
Upset alert.
Or
like
maybe like a simple like.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Nah. I like the loud air horn cry.
We also want to like scare people if they're in their car though.
Oh, stop it! It is what it is.
I put a freaking car, police siren.
Yeah.
What
do we got next, Ty?
All right, last here before we get into our Saturday slate of games. Here is Friday. 2 games here. St. Louis at Loyola. That is Loyola in Illinois. And then, no, there's 2 Loyolas, Trey. Because I almost made your bet wrong the one time.
Loyola Chicago.
I know. Well, they put IL thing there, Trey. So Loyola, Chicago. Yeah, sorry. St. Louis at Loyola, Chicago. Again, don't have a spread for this because this is a couple days out here, so we're just kind of looking fresh.
I would take St. Louis in that one.
Sorry. St. Louis?
With the points. I don't really get.
Dude, that's a terrible day. Oh, never mind. There's no wait. What day is that? February 14th, a Friday?
It's Friday.
Oh, good. There's a lot more. I thought there was only 2 games showing up there for me.
Dude, it's a tough game. It's a tough board.
Yeah. Fridays are really hard. Fridays are always really hard. Ooh, man. I feel like I got to go with the the home team.
Loyola?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I just feel like every time I make a move on St. Louis, they lay me down this year because of big Robbie Avila.
Avila, I know. Gosh, so frustrating. Like, go back to Indiana State, all of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that was what made it fun for me. Like, now I'm just mad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also go Loyola, partially because I feel like I'm gonna fade myself for the same exact reason though on the St. Louis feelings a lot this year in the A10. So. Last one here, only one more game that I had to highlight here. And I did this one simply because of a covering standpoint. Nevada is playing San Jose State. Nevada at San Jose State. So real quick.
What's your knowledge there on San Jose? Because I know they're one of our plays from Tuesday night.
So
what is it?
Right now, San Jose State is the number 2 team to cover. They cover 77.3% of the time, averaging at plus 2.2 with their against the spread line. So San Jose State at Nevada. I mean, Nevada's 14-10, 6th in the Mountain West. San Jose State's 12-13, 8th in the Mountain West. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up game, but if you can get San Jose State as a dog, again, like I said, they're averaging at plus 2.2. Take them at anything 2 and over if you can get them as a dog. So that's my play on that, just to kind of give some input. But
yeah, they did play once already this year where they were at Nevada, and Nevada won by 11 points. So. If the spread is, you're saying 2, if it would be anywhere around that, I'm taking Nevada. I think Nevada is just a better team.
Yeah.
Steve Alford, right? Head coach of Nevada. So he usually has his group play pretty well at this time of year.
So real quick, in terms of statistics and things that you guys look for free throw percentage, Nevada 69.5%, San Jose State 75.5%, and rebounds Nevada 30.2%. Sorry, 30.2 and 30.5 for San Jose State. So free throws is a huge mismatch there,
and rebounds, especially offensive. But
they also lead the turnover margin too. That's a big one for me that I also like to look at.
So assist to turnover ratio is another big stat that I look at. But anyway,
so just a heads up. But I'd take him as a dog if you can get him +2 or more.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let us get into our
big Saturday.
A big Saturday. So here we go.
Bearded best bets.
Okay, so best bets right now. I know we don't know the lines, but we're going to go with is our money line looks for some of these games. We got a lot of big games here. So if you wanted to follow along too, we have big games, our top 10, and then I also put on a couple 2 smaller games to kind of keep an eye on as well. We're going to start 12 o'clock slate with Arkansas at Texas A&M. Excuse me.
Arkansas at A&M.
Yep.
I'm going A&M.
But this is all money line, just so everybody's clear on this.
I am going Arkansas.
Whew. You're going Arkansas.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna. I think I might go Arkansas as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. Texas A&M is a team I don't trust.
Yeah.
That might be
Buzz Williams, their head coach. Yeah,
might be PTSD from
Buzz.
Not meeting Buzz. So I am glad that that's coming back up at this time of the year. I feel like it's kind of like a holiday season.
Yeah,
it's like Undercover Buzz. Go get that shirt in the merch store.
Yep.
BeardedBakerBrothers.com. I'm going to go Arkansas though too. I also feel like our uncle has the boys playing there in Arkansas on Saturday. So
him. Great guy.
So I'm going Calipari in Arkansas to pull off a little upset. But that is not upset alert though. We still got that game coming up. There. Not all right. Wisconsin at Purdue. And I will say this: Purdue had a little hiccup last night, obviously.
Yeah, they were up big early on Michigan. I couldn't believe Michigan came back and won that. But it's at Purdue. You said,
Purdue. Yep.
Totally different team at home. Purdue money line.
Yeah, I'm with Trent here. I'm going to have to go with the Boilermakers. I think they're going to bounce back. I think that. Yeah, I just think it's going to be a different team, like he said at home. I think their home field advantage is going to be a big factor.
Agreed.
The Boilermakers.
I'm on Purdue as well. I do think, though, Trent, when you were going to talk overrated teams, I think Purdue's overrated this year.
Yes.
Just a thought. I know they're 19-5, but I think they're overrated.
I think Tennessee is so overrated. I think
I'm not disagreeing with that. All right. Next game we got here on the list, we have the
Houston.
2 o'clock game. 2 o'clock game, Houston at Arizona. Again, we mentioned Arizona dropped one last night. So they might be out for revenge, especially playing at home. Although I will say Houston is playing tough ball right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Arizona is going to compound on their recent loss. And I think, like you said, Tyler, Houston's playing good ball. I'm going to go with Houston.
Yeah, this is where Houston separates himself from the Big 12, the rest of the Big 12. I think they only have one conference loss right now. Arizona has gotten themselves back into being a top 4 seed, which is impressive because preseason they were ranked pretty high, and they fell off after losing to Duke for a couple games, and now they're back. I think very good game. If you can get Houston for anything less than a 5-point spread, I think you got to take them right now, even though they're on the road. So
even as dogs. Okay.
Yeah.
This could also be a game too, where depending on some of the matchups and stuff that what happens, because you're going to get a 1-2 loss, which we'll talk about here a little bit later. But this could be where Houston kind of puts himself in that number 1 seed mix.
Yep.
A little bit more, if they aren't already being discussed there. So it's a big game for Houston. So next game we have on the slate here, I got Missouri at Georgia. At Georgia.
I think Georgia is a middle of pack team in the SEC that overperforms.
Yeah.
And because of that reason, I like Missouri.
Okay. Trent?
Yeah, I like Missouri in this case too. That would put Georgia at what's it look like, a 3-game losing streak. But I think
honestly they've overperformed that. Like they
have overperformed, but when I sit there and look at like who they're beating in the SEC, their biggest win is Kentucky. Right? And don't get me wrong, Kentucky's good, but Kentucky also they're pushing 500 in the SEC. Yeah. Kentucky is. Now, granted, they have 5 top 5 wins, right? But they lost to Tennessee handedly. They lost to Auburn. They lost to Arkansas. They got beat by 30 by Florida. They got beat by almost another 20 points by Bama. So when it comes to the cream of the crop, right? In the crop top, sorry. In the SEC, yeah, Georgia, you're right, Trey. They've beaten the teams. They've beaten the bottom of the barrel consistently.
Yes.
So
the only team that they overperformed on or beat was Kentucky, and I bet on Kentucky that game. So that was cool.
Yeah,
I think that was actually my pick.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So I will say this: I almost made this my upset alert for Georgia, Missouri. Went back and forth between this game and the other game that I do have as the upset alert. So I'm going to stick with Missouri. I think that Georgia covers because I feel like they will make this probably about a 6.5, 7.5 point spread.
9.5, 8.5.
Could be more. I just don't think Missouri will cover that, but I do think that they'll win another tight game. So that's my analysis. All right, big game here. The 4:00 game, Auburn, Alabama. We got the 1 versus the 2 already before March.
Man.
So,
Trent, or either you guys want to go?
So right now, just quick behind the scenes stuff. Auburn 21-2, first in the SEC. Alabama 20-3, second in the SEC. It's at Alabama. So I am going to go with Alabama.
Yeah, I can't wait for this spread. Like I just can't wait for the spread. I mean, I'm looking home court advantage, which we said, is so big in the SEC, especially for the big time matchups.
Wait. Trent also makes that same comment when he buys cream cheese at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
Can't wait for the spread.
Yeah.
Shout out, what else he says?
Shout out Philadelphia cream cheese.
Mm.
Yeah, I kept the G ready, Trey.
Yep.
So I just look at it this way: is I think Auburn almost slipped up against Vandy earlier, on Tuesday.
Vandy's good.
They are. They're much better than what maybe their ranking shows. But I feel like if you're Bama, don't you have all the bulletin board material ready to go? Like, you guys didn't lose a game, they did, and they still didn't move you up 2 spots in number 1. They didn't put you. It's what is it? The Iron Bowl in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is your biggest rivalry you have. It's in your home. You were disrespected by the AP top 10. Go out and do it. So, number one offense in the country. I feel like they're always number 1 offense in the country. But I'm gonna go Bama here. I'm gonna go Bama. If you get Auburn as a dog, though, I feel like that's the ultimate tease or setup to say like, hey, you can get Auburn for positive money. Like, come take us.
That's exactly what it is. It's one of those gotcha bets.
Yeah, and people are gonna fall for that, and I hope I don't. I'm not gonna.
I bet it's plus 2.5 Auburn.
Yeah. This discussion led me to a realization and a bet that I'm excited about. Two actually realizations. One is that Auburn is going to win this game money line wise, but the other one that thank you, Trent, for this is I'm going to bet Vanderbilt to win the NIT.
Or the NIT?
Yeah, they're not going to make the.
Yes, they are. Lenardi has them in.
Yeah, Trey, they could make it, dude.
I just think that they are overlooked. They have very good wins against the hardest conference in college basketball, which is the SEC. I think we can all agree on that this year. They've upset a lot of teams. They're not going to get in the tournament just because their record and everything. But I like Vanderbilt to win the NIT or CBI. Is that what it is?
No, there's the new one this year, the Crown.
No CBI.
No, there's a new postseason tournament outside of the NIT. It's called the Crown. That's the new thing that's going to take place in Vegas. It's awesome. Like, there's teams, and it's only teams from the power conferences that miss the tournament. So it's no, like, I don't believe it's any mid-majors. It's all like power conferences. But
okay.
Joe Lenardi currently, he has Vanderbilt as an 11 seed in the big tournament. Trey.
He does.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right. Next game we got there is Stanford at Duke. I do like to include our teams, the Duke UNC stuff. So Stanford at Duke.
I'd say I'll say Duke, but I think what you have to realize, I think the little hidden storyline is Jalen Blake returned to Duke. He's the guy that he's transferred from Duke, hit the buzzer beater against Carolina. I think he will get a very welcome ovation when he returns to Duke.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to this. I think Duke handedly beats Stanford.
I mean, I agree. I'm just saying there's a little storyline there. So
yeah, I'm also going Duke. I don't really have much to say about that. I just, like I said, I put it out there because it's our teams. Same thing about this game, North Carolina and Syracuse.
I got UNC.
Yeah, Syracuse is horrible.
I'll be honest.
If UNC doesn't win this, that's pathetic.
Yeah, and honestly, the biggest thing is that the fact that Syracuse lost to Miami last night. So that's a little bit telling.
Ooh.
Yeah, like 91-85 or something.
That's pretty bad.
Talk about failing to replace a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Boeheim.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Syracuse?
Yeah.
I thought you meant Miami with
hey, pull your mic closer.
They screwed up. They screwed up with not hiring the guy that took the job at Siena,
McNamara, yeah.
He should be the head coach there right now. He would be doing a night and day job. Matter of fact, he might be there next year. Just saying.
All right, next game we have here on the slate for our Saturday board: Mississippi State at Ole Miss.
I'm totally off the Mississippi State anything. Like, I just think, once again, they are benefiting from having a good out-of-conference record. They pulled off like an upset or one or maybe two. I think one. And I'm just not sold on Mississippi State. They're going to be a tournament team, but I'm going Ole Miss. If you're at Ole Miss is going to win the game.
It's at Ole Miss. And you also got to take into account, too, like, I agree. Mississippi State, I can't figure out. Mississippi State stuck with Florida last night. I think they were up by 1 point at halftime, but Florida ended up winning by 13. But honestly, Florida was up by about 25 points at 1 point. Yeah. And I think it was some garbage time shots and stuff that made it a little bit closer than we got. So,
yeah.
So, Trey, pick on that Mississippi State Ole Miss.
I like Ole Miss. Simple
enough. Michigan State, Illinois. Another one. Michigan State ranked 11 right now. Illinois not in the top 25. 19-4, second in Big Ten. Illinois 16-8, seventh in Big Ten. This is another game that I actually did consider making the big upset alert game, but I'm gonna go with Michigan State in this as a money line. I'd be interested to see the spread because I wouldn't mind taking Illinois if they are plus as dogs. So, but I'm gonna take Michigan State money line.
It's tough. This is a tough one because, like, I feel like Illinois has been on a schneid, right, Ty? Schneid. Okay. But man, like, there's just the thing. Illinois is another team this year that I just can't figure out. Yeah. Like, I think they've been ranked in the top 10 at one point for a very short period of time, or at least very close. And then they just fall off the face of the earth, I feel like. I mean, they have some bad losses, 20-some point loss to Maryland. They did lose at Michigan State by 2 earlier in the year. So I think this is a very big opportunity to get yourself back in the mix of maybe top 4 seeds. And I'm gonna go Illinois to cover in this one, but
wow.
I'm going to just go.
Know what the spread is.
I know. So when it comes to the spread, I'm hoping to get them to cover.
Who's going to win?
Illinois.
Wow. All right. I'm going Michigan State on this.
Wow. Okay. All right. Last game of our slate here, we have Kentucky at Texas. Kentucky at Texas. Now, there are some other games and stuff that we said that are some big games that, we're not putting on the board, but Kentucky, Texas. Money line straight up, I'm going to go Kentucky. I think Texas is actually kind of pretty bad this year.
Yeah, they're pretty shitty.
Yeah, if Kentucky loses to Texas, this is a bad loss. So I'm going Kentucky.
All right. Trent, you did mention that you did want to look at the Tennessee Vanderbilt game.
Yeah, I think as we stated earlier, we think Vanderbilt's a little bit better than what we've thought, and I totally agree. They hung with Auburn tonight, so it is, and they did knock off Tennessee by 1 point earlier this year, but it was at Vanderbilt. I mean, I'm going to take Tennessee to win. They have to. I mean, they just have to. They can't drop another 2 back-to-back games, but should be I hope it's a good game. I think it could be competitive.
Any other games, Trey?
No, those are the ones I like too. So glad we touched base on all of them.
All right, upset alert. Ready? Here's
Sure.
my upset alert. Upset alert of the Saturday. Florida State beats Clemson.
Ooh. I like it. I like that upset alert.
So the hangover happens.
Yeah, I think it finally kicks in.
Wait, because Clemson just won today, though, didn't they?
Clemson beat Carolina, and they beat Duke prior to that. So you win both those, Tobacco Road matchups. But
why isn't it talked about more? They have wins. Well, I guess the Carolina win doesn't have as much weight right now, but it is a blue blood.
Thanks.
But you got wins over Kentucky, Duke, and Carolina this year. That's 3 blue bloods by Clemson.
And the fact that they're only 23, and then you got other teams sitting up there, in the top, 10
Biased.
to 20 area. Yeah, I mean, totally. So, but I do think that Florida State at home will beat Clemson, not by much, but I think this is my upset alert game. So just something to keep an eye on. Little game to put a little sprinkle on for fun. But
yeah.
All right. Anything else college basketball? We knocked out the board. We knocked out a couple games here. I know we're recording here Tuesday night and then the Wednesday. Got some cool games coming up here. But other than that, guys, let's have a great rest of the week. Let's continue
slowly creeping our way into that big tournament that we love. So,
dude, but I know Trent, you always bring it up too.
Conference
Dude, it's conference tournaments, man. I cannot freaking wait for that shit. I am so excited.
It's that month is the best.
Yeah.
It's like the Super Bowl. Everyone gets a little depressed after the Super Bowl, but then you got to think about it, man. You got the heart of college basketball, then followed by conference tournaments, bracketology, March Madness. And then by that time, you know what? Baseball starts.
Hey, pitchers and catchers report soon, don't they?
They already reported, Tyler.
Okay, I knew it.
They already reported, baby.
All right. Well, with that being said, enjoy Happy Hump Day. Get over those humps.
Happy humping, baby.
Happy humping. And enjoy your weekend. Mm-hmm. And appreciate all you guys listening. Thank you, Trent. Thank you, Trey.
Yeah, fellas. Hump hard, guys.
All right. Let's go. Have a good weekend.
Yep.
See ya.